2019. Alright, let's sift through the wreckage. I'm Chris Wolvie, the wrestling vlogger who always tells it like it is. Another 12 months of the WWE trying to make us forget, if only for a few hours at a time, the horrible, terrible, no good, very bad world. And they didn't exactly succeed. Oh, it had its moments, but not too many. And so it is with a heavy heart and a frustrating tone that I try to pick out the best of the WWE in 2019. And with relative ease that I pick out some of the worst. Unlike last year, I'm just going to have one for each category. Next year, if I'm still doing this, I'll do one for each of the three brands. Best match of 2019, believe it or not, goes to Ronda Rousey versus Charlotte Flair versus Becky Lynch for both Raw and SmackDown Women's Championships. Yeah, it happened after midnight during an overly long show, but the first ever women's main event at WrestleMania, it was worth the wait. All three women gave it their all in that match to try to wake up the half-asleep crowd in Jersey. And seeing Rousey tap out to demand, which I predicted by the way, was the coup de grace. Way to go, ladies. Worst match of 2019? Seth Rollins versus The Fiend in Hell in a Cell. Ugh. What a rhymes with mustard truck that match was. And it was that way from the start, with that ridiculous red lighting. The match that was supposed to be no disqualification was then stopped because of poor little boy Wyatt might be hurt. And it set up a brutal rematch at Crown Jewel where we learned that Bray Wyatt is being plugged as an unstoppable force. And this is what made Seth swing to the dark side again. Yeah, well done, WWE. Ugh. Best feud of 2019? Kofi Kingston versus everyone's expectations. Took 11 years for Kingston to get a primary title match in the WWE, but the higher-ups were not about to give it to him just like that. First, he lucked his way into Elimination Chamber match when Ali was injured and was the last man Daniel Bryan pinned. Then he had to compete in a rigged gauntlet match that he lost. Then he had to watch the New Day win a tag team gauntlet so Kofi could compete. Only then could he compete at WrestleMania for the title, and thanks to New Day getting all up in Eric Rowan's face, Kofi won. And I doubted him, saying that he was just a team player. Shows what I know. Well done, Kofi. Well done. Worst feud of the year has to be Rusev versus Bobby Lashley, and thank God this will finally end soon. The wedding will go about as well as most WWE weddings go, outside of Randy Savage and Elizabeth at SummerSlam 91. Rusev will bum rush in, there'll be a stipulation match at Royal Rumble, and then the mess of an angle can end. Even Jerry Springer's looking at this and saying, yeah, I'm getting very uncomfortable about this. Rookie of the Year, meaning whoever premiered on Raw or SmackDown this year, goes, of course, to the Viking Raiders. Ever since they came into Raw as the Viking Experience, the wrestlers formerly known as the War Raiders have torn through everyone in their path. True, most of them were scrubs, but we didn't complain when Ryback did that years ago, did we? The fact is that they are the Bludgeon Brothers of 2019, and they deserve to be Raw Tag Champs. Worst rookie? I'm afraid that'll be EC3. So much promise with this guy on NXT after coming back from the sinking ship that is TNA. Sure, he may have been a 4-time 24/7 champ since its inception, but come on, that's like getting a People's Choice Award instead of an Oscar. And EC3 deserved much more than that for all his years he put into this business. Send the guy back to NXT so that he can make a difference instead of being bumped off main event. Please. Female Superstar of the Year? Now you may think it's Sasha Banks or Bayley or Becky Lynch, but no. The co-winners are Natalya and Lacey Evans. Why, you ask? Simple. They were the first women to ever wrestle in Saudi Arabia. Yeah, sure, the match was nothing to sneeze at, but just the fact that after 4 testosterone-filled pay-per-views in Riyadh, the oil tycoons finally allowed Natty and Lacey to show what the women of the WWE could do, and show women in Saudi Arabia what any woman can do. Way to go, you two. Tag Team of the Year, begrudgingly, goes to the New Day. Twice they recaptured the blue and silver belts this year, and they held them longer than any other team this year. Sure, the Viking Raiders are a kick-ass team and ran both the New Day and the Undisputed Era into the ground at Survivor Series, but until the Usos return and the Revival get back on track, the New Day are the premier tag team on SmackDown, if not the whole WWE. So, yeah, New Day rocks. New Day rocks! Finally, Male Superstar of the Year. This was a toughie, I'll admit, but despite the fact that Adam Cole's the longest running primary champ of the year, or that Seth Rollins beat the Beast Slayer and became the Beast Slayer twice, I'm giving the nod to Roman Reigns, because he beat the toughest opponent to date, leukemia. He may not have done much around SmackDown since he was shifted to the brand in April, but just the fact that he's here is enough in my book. The Roman Empire still has a few years left in it, and hopefully it'll be a gold-filled Reigns. Again, these are my picks, and mine alone. You may disagree with what I say, but I will fight to the death my right to fight you to the death for being wrong. Happy 2020, everybody. I'm Chris Wolvie, the wrestling blogger who always tells it like it is. See ya.